Hello. I just thought about making one more tonight, one more video for you guys. And I thought about a very unusual topic. Um, have you ever thought about if you could go back in time, would you want to change things? Or would you just want to keep it the same as it was, as it is? Well, I want to tell you my opinion, how I feel about this topic. There are times I wish I could change lots of things in my life. I wish sometimes I could go back and change a lot of things. I wish I can go back and make the younger Vicky a smarter Vicky. You know what I'm saying? Make better choices. Be more wiser. I didn't have growing up, I didn't have the full good guidance from a parent, I didn't have lots of those things that most, you know, I remember being a girl, even a teenager, and I saw all my friends with their dads, their moms together. Some of them weren't together, but they got to at least see both of them. You know, I didn't have that. So, and I didn't have very good guidance either. So I had to learn life and all my experiences on my own, which it's not a bad thing. It made me wiser, you know, made me wiser, all the experiences that I went through, and it made me stronger. And it made me want to make different decisions, not to repeat those things again. You know? Well, if I could go back in time, I wish I could be that 17-year-old little girl again, teenager, a 17-year-old teenager, and make the decision not to have children so early. But you know what? At the same time, I love my kids. So I never regretted my kids. I never have. No matter what they put me through, they put me through a lot. But you know what? When it comes to the end of the day, I still love them. I really do. I might regret who I had them with. I just wish I would have had that, that family together, that happy family for my kids. And that I had a loving environment for them. But the environment they grew up in was like not as bad as mine, but one parent's mellow, relaxed, moi, which was me, and the other parent is screaming, hollering, cursing, and like raving like a banshee all over the house. You know, he would abuse them. He would abuse me. So how do you? I wish I could change that part. I could have chose a better mate, a better person to spend my life with, because then But I did get married a second time, which he was a lovely, lovely man. He really was. I don't ever regret that marriage. I just wish he would have just stopped the drinking. He just and it the drinking, you know, it got him. He got cirrhosis of the liver and he died. That's why I am a widow today. But I'm not good. He was a good man. He was loving. He was caring. He took on responsibilities that weren't even his. Didn't have to be his. He could have said, "Heck with you, woman. These ain't my kids." But he never said that. He took them on as his own. Could have said, "Adios," goodbye. You're not mine. Never said that. But the only thing we had to go through a lot was immigration stuff because, you know, we had to make sure they could try to stay here the right way, if you know what I'm talking about. Which he didn't get to follow his case through because he died. So I do miss him. I will always have him in my heart. But I have to go on. I have to go on. And I have met someone else that I am having, communicating with. Um, we're getting to know each other as people. Um, very loving man. Very good. But another guy from another other country again. I have this thing with foreign men. I don't know what it is. It's I don't know. It's crazy. But I like on the topic, I wish I could just go back and just change those things. I remember my mother telling me, "Vicky, are you sure you want to do this?" Because honestly, the first time I didn't marry for love, I married for because we had kids together already. And then I knew in my heart that I had to please our Father up in the heavens because I knew in God's eyes, you know, I had to do the right thing and correct my mistake. So I married him. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was the worst mistake I've ever made. But you know what? I learned from it. I learned from it. I learned hard. I did divorce him. And like I said, that's how I landed up in my second marriage. But I learned a lot as a person. I grew as a person. So I don't regret my children. Never, 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 never. No way. And the only part I feel sad for is I had another son. He was beautiful little boy. He was gorgeous. Um, but he never had a chance for life because he died as soon as I gave birth to him. He was dead. So that was the worst thing that could one of the worst things that happened to me. Um So I wish I could go back and give birth and know that he's alive. He would be like 13 years old. What is the date? He would have been 13 years old already. Yep, because he would have just turned 13 yesterday. Yep. But he would have been a fatherless child. So I don't know how I feel about that. But then he would have to suffer in this world. So wicked. So much wickedness going on. I don't know how to feel. But that was the worst thing that happened. One of the worst things that ever happened to me. And sometimes I wish I could go back on my second marriage and wish I could just get on his case about not drinking. So I did that quite often. I said, "Stop drinking. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna die from that." But I didn't know how bad it really was because I never dealt with that stuff before. I didn't even know what cirrhosis of the liver physically really was and how much it can really hurt you. And I guess I found out like 7 years earlier, um, he got a doctor's report saying his liver enzymes were high. So that was the starting of it. If I could have just caught it then and got on him then, maybe he would have just stopped. I don't know. But the worst experience was having to hold his hand and seeing him take his last breath. That was the hardest thing I have ever done. Like I said, he will always be in my heart because he was a beautiful man too. But I have to go on. I'm 48 years old. I want to be happy. I want to share my love with that right, perfect person. And I've already found that person. Just trying to get together at this moment because it's more of a long distance at this moment. That I don't regret. But there's another thing. If I can go back in time, I would not quit school. Which, even though I did go back to school when I was like 31 years old, I went back to school, finished my high school. Then after that, I went to college, got my bachelor's. After that, I got my master's. But I could have had that all done and much more when I was younger. It's like, wow, Vicky. But it's because I had kids. I didn't have the support system for me to fully trust or finish out because I missed so many days of school. My son was sick all the time. He was having so many seizures. So I would have had to repeat a grade all over again. There's no way. So I just quit. But I did go back. I did go back. That's how I landed up with my bachelor's and my master's. So I'm not upset with that. I hope I taught my kids something. Education It is important. It is, especially if you want to go a little further in a field or things like that. Or if you eventually want to go to another country and work, most people want somebody with at least a bachelor's degree. I know it's ridiculous, but it's just fact. But there's one thing, if I can really go back in time and I did finish school out and I did graduate, you know what my dream goal was to do was to become a historian archaeologist. That was my dream um, goal for a career. I know it sounds crazy, but I love history and I love digging for history. I love bringing truth to the plate and letting the world know of the truth. Maybe that's why I've always been searching for truth. And even in my faith, I've searched for truth within my faith too. Always, always searching and searching. Always looking for that truth. And I always find it. I just love it. I just love the idea of that truth and bringing that truth to light. Even though I didn't do that, I still use my genealogy, like my family tree research to really understand. But it's so hard to find some of my family. There's so many gaps in the family tree. Like if you go back further, I could go back to my grandparents, my great grandparents, and my great great grandparents. After that, it's it's all a loss. There's so many gaps. I can find some like one tree, like the Jewish tree, um, of our Jewish ancestry is going back. I'm able to trace that back to Spain to a Spanish man. That's called Marcus Alonso de la Garza Falcon Truvino Arco. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. But that's the furthest I could trace it. But when it comes to our indigenous ancestry, I'm able to find some, but they want you to go to the index. That means you have to go right to where it is. Like if it's in Virginia, you have to go to Virginia to that place to get the full detail of everything. On the online, you can only get so much details. That's it. You know, I know one of my indigenous ancestry, it's pretty high on my dad's side. There was a lot of mixing between the Europeans and the indigenous. Um, and on there's a little bit of African in there too, where there's a little bit, if you go back further, 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 um, sometimes you might find it in like West Asia, um, like the Jordan, which makes sense with the Jewish and the more Arab tribes. It makes sense. And with the Muslim world at that time, with North Africa and all, it makes sense where they conquered a part of Spain. And because a lot of them didn't bring their women with them, their African women or their West Asian women, they took the women that were there in Spain at the time, which was mostly white. So they took on white wives. And you could see all their mixed children. And I think that's where we pick up some of that from the North African. I've seen it a little bit. It's there. Um, but there's so many gaps, so many family that's missing. When you go further back, you can only go so far. And then you're able to go to maybe one tree, like back to the 1600s. And then the other tree can only hit the 1800s. It's like, on my mom's side, I can find some of them, but the part I'm getting a mess on now is the William Berry. William Berry is so common. It's like, which one are you? The whole thing is full of thousands and thousands and thousands. It's like, what? So I'm still looking. Um, but that's where I take my historical archaeology. Well, I don't do the archaeology part, but I love history. Maybe I should go back to school for history, be a history teacher. But then all the history I'd be teaching is a lie because they don't teach the truth in there. Um, it's just, if I can go back, there's so many things I wish I could go back so I could be younger again. I'm like 48 right now, and I can see like certain like little grays in my hair, tiny little ones. I started getting my first little gray strand when I was 40. After that, is I really for someone that's 48 heading for their 50s, I don't have that many, but they're starting to come in there. I can't. I don't want to get old. I really don't. But I know I have no choice. So the person I want to spend my life with, come on already. Oh my gosh. Before I get, you know, want to get old. I really don't. I don't think any woman or any man wants to get old. I don't think any of us do. We would want to keep on pumping and rolling it and going and going. But sometimes we have no choice. As part of this, if if Adam and Eve did not disobey God, we would not have to suffer this. We would not have to suffer any of this. We would stay beautiful and young all our life. Oh, that would be beautiful. But I wonder what you guys would change if you guys can go back in time. How would you like redo some things? I mean, there's one more thing I would change. I would change um not wanting to leave England. I was I was born in the US, but I was raised in my mom's country. I was raised in Europe until I was like I think I was almost 13 years old. And then when I turned 13, I landed on American soil and stayed here after that. I would try everything possible not to come back. I'm telling you, England was a nice place. It was lovely. I miss it. I really do. Ah, it's just, I wish I could just change a lot of things. But at the same time, there's some things I don't want to change from there. I want my children. I love my kids. No matter what they feel, how they feel about me, I will always love them. No matter what they've done to me, I still love them. I still will. Until the day that it be my time to go, I will always love them. But now they're all grown up. They're all like 20. My youngest daughter's 21, and my other daughter's 25. My other son is like 26, gonna be 27. And then my other son is 28, gonna be 29. Wow. He's almost 30. It shows how old I'm getting. That's nuts. I mean, there are times where I wanted more kids, but I think I'm past that time now. And I don't want to risk my child, if I ever have any more children, to end up having them with when you're older, you're high risk of anything happening to me or happening to the child. I don't want that. So I don't think I want to try it away. Um, but I just want to be happy. I wish I could go back and just be a happy person and never have to experience all the things that I experienced. But you know what? It helped me to grow as a person. It helped me to be stronger as a person. And it helped me to better me and to make better choices, not to repeat bad choices. Um, I'm just wondering if there's anything, if you guys have like things like if you can relive your life back, would you change anything? Would you want to? You know, nobody wants to change their children. Uh-uh. You love your kids. They grew in you, or you help make them, regardless. Your kids are your kids. But if you can change things, what would you change? If you could go back in time, what would you really change? Just think about those things. I hope that you guys like the topic. It's just a simple topic that I just brought up. But it'd be nice if you guys can reply back and let me know what you would do. If you can change things, if you went back in time, what would you change? Really? I'm interested to find out. Sorry, I'm still a little messed up. Still a little mess. But I would really like to find that out. So let me know and leave me a comment and I will reply to it back. Sorry. Well, this is my last video for now. And I hope you liked this video. I hope you got something interesting out of it. I hope so. Just come over to my and subscribe to my video, please. I hope you got something out of this content, and I will see you in my next video. Adios. Adios for now.